Hello, you're watching VTV News at 6 p.m. I'm Michael Liu, and here's the top news for our bulletin. Hanoians excited about upcoming National Day with preparations underway for the big day in the capital city. Na Pagoda, a new model to preserve Vietnamese cultural values. More in just a moment. There are only a few days left until the celebration to mark the 70th anniversary of the August Revolution and Vietnam's National Day takes place at Ba Dinh Square in Hanoi. So how's the preparation for the big day coming along? Let's follow our reporter Tiến Anh to find out about the atmosphere in the capital city these days. At present, yellow and red national flags, banners and colourful flowers adorn many streets in the capital of Hanoi in preparation for the 70th anniversary of National Day. Instead of going to entertainment and shopping centres, many people come to historical sites such as Ba Dinh Square or Hoàn Kiếm Lake in order to partake in the cheerful atmosphere of National Day.
I bring my children here so they can feel the atmosphere and the history of this place. I want my children to remember the special day in the history of our nation.
Like Tao's family, many Vietnamese people also feel the buzz of excitement leading up to the 70th anniversary of Vietnam's National Day.
I have lived in Hanoi for over 4 years. I always feel emotional when thinking about this day. I feel very proud to be Vietnamese. I can feel that the spirit of Independence Day is coming close. Everyone is so excited. I'm looking forward to seeing the parade and marches that show the development of our country.
In the happy and joyful atmosphere of the 70th anniversary of National Day, everyone here are looking forward to the Grand Parade. Let's see how the preparation for the Grand Parade are going on.
As planned, as many as 30,000 people, including representatives from the armed forces and various social backgrounds, will take part in a grand parade that marches from Ba Dinh Square and travels along 40 streets in Hanoi.
Having more than 10,000 people work with one unified rhythm requires very strict, sophisticated and careful training for 4 hours in the heat. This shows the willpower of all the soldiers in this grand parade.
At the dress rehearsal of the Grand Parade held on August the 29th, all preparations for the 70th anniversary of National Day were completed in order to ensure the safety and success of the events, which will officially be held on Wednesday, September the 2nd. Moving on to Ho Chi Minh City for more National Day festivities. An exhibition to celebrate the 70th anniversary of the August Revolution and National Day was hosted along Nguyễn Huệ Walkway in Ho Chi Minh City today. This year's theme is focused on the proud spirit of Vietnamese revolutions throughout history. The exhibition features over 80 rare photographs depicting the revolutionary efforts of the people and government since the formation of the party. Some materials illustrated in further detail the atmosphere of the uprising to regain power and the birth of the Democratic Republic of Vietnam. Moreover, images of the nation and Ho Chi Minh City's socio-economic advancement were also exhibited. Now let's visit the business sector. Starting this July, Vietnam is offering 15-day visa exemptions for nationals from 5 Western European countries, namely the United Kingdom, Italy, Spain, Germany and France. Though it has just taken effect, it has already contributed to the tourism sector, ending 13 consecutive months of declining international arrivals. Notably, the policy is also facilitating foreign businesses to invest in Vietnam and collaborate with Vietnamese enterprises.
This is the 4th time this year that Pete Howard, customer service manager of Rolls-Royce, has visited the company's representative office in Vietnam. The trip is much easier this time, as it only took him 25 minutes to clear the airport. 1/3 of his previous visits. However, time saving at the airport is not the only benefit that the visa exemption policy affords.
Everything's green, everything's on plan. Previously, if it was an urgent issue, we'd have maybe a WebEx or a phone call, but things always get lost in translation a little bit and people misunderstand. So, it's much better to have meetings face to face. And this new process allows that. Literally, you can be in Vietnam the next day.
Besides enterprises which are working with Vietnamese enterprises, the policy is also helpful to businessmen who want to explore Vietnam. According to a representative of European Chamber of Commerce in Vietnam, this is important as the Vietnam-EU Free Trade Agreement has concluded negotiation rounds. This is the reason for Vietnam to consider prolong the policy's duration.
The FTA agreement is a long-term plan. And as you may know, this visa exemption is just a one-year policy. If it is extended, I believe, because of the FTA agreement, many more European businesses will be interested to explore opportunities in Vietnam. And therefore, this visa exemption is a good news to them.
Apart from the UK, France, Italy, Spain and Germany, Vietnam's also exempting visas for 3 other nations in the European Union, Finland, Denmark and Sweden, for a 5-year duration. According to the Ministry of Planning and Investment, the EU ranked 5th among Vietnam's major FDI partners last year, with a combined committed FDI of nearly $600 million. During this period, some 60 additional investors from the EU were making investments in the country.
Exotic Vietnam is an intriguing blend of many charms. This land is where all manner of stunning landscapes await like a visual feast, rivaled only by the beauty of its people and their abundantly rich tradition and culture. Here is where you can relive the past in richest color or live it up in the bright lights of the big city. With so much more to offer, Vietnam is simply unforgettable.
Pleiku Airport will officially reopen on September the 1st after a period of renovation. The facility was temporarily closed between March the 23rd and October the 25th for upgrades on runways, taxiways and plane parking zones. The project, worth $42 million, is intended to attract over 1 million visitors every year. This is the only major airport in the northern Central Highlands. Therefore, the temporary closure disrupted travel and shipping activities for the regional community here. Airlines have begun to reconnect flight routes to and from these airports. Na Pagoda was recently built in Bắc Ninh province using money donated by the local people. Engaging the strength and financial support of the local community has proven an effective way to preserve cultural values and architecture. More to follow.
This pagoda was built 10 years ago, using money donated by the local people. Architect Bùi Hoài Mai was in charge of designing the pagoda.
I used local materials to build this pagoda. I told the locals here that whenever they had time, they could drop by and help us. They look around and save materials that could be used to build the base and other parts of the temple. People become more and more aware of the project.
We incorporated the strength of every member in our village. We collected money, we called for free transportation of materials, and we built the pagoda by ourselves.
The support of the local people was vital in building the pagoda. The design was also an important factor contributing to the beauty of the pagoda.
Designing pagodas is not easy. The architect must understand the cultural value and history of the place. Preserving a cultural heritage means we have to preserve the core, the soul, and the spirit of the place. People, especially the elders in the commune, are very happy since the pagoda was completed. My mother, who is over 80 years old, always tells me to prepare dinner earlier so that she can have time to visit the pagoda after dinner.
Directly engaging local people in building the pagoda is an example of a new way to increase awareness and obligation to preserve cultural heritage.
For over 400 years, many Japanese have chosen Hoi An as their second home. From the initial personal attachment to Vietnam, the relationship between Japanese traders and the local Vietnamese has blossomed into family ties, and on a larger scale, a close relationship between the two nations. To this day, that relationship still flourishes.
Today, Hoi An City still retains many remnants of the past cultural exchange between Japanese traders and the local Vietnamese, from the Japanese covered bridge to Hoi An ancient town, to the Japanese pottery and porcelain being sold in the old town. This shows a strong development in trade relations and cultural exchange between the two nations over the course of 100 years.
When I visit the Japanese covered bridge and hear about its history, I feel very excited and even more impressed with this town. I'm quite surprised to see so many traces of Japanese culture are still intact here in Hoi An. I hope that the traditional relationship between Japan and Vietnam will continue to develop.
The 400-year relationship between Vietnam and Japan is exhibited through the annual Vietnam-Japan Cultural Festival in Hoi An. Among the numerous activities in the festival, there is one that attracts a lot of attention from the young Vietnamese: the Narikiri making class. Narikiri is a type of confection made from white beans and is often seen in a typical Japanese tea ceremony.
I love Japanese food. I want to learn more about Japanese confection to understand more about the culture.
Many exciting activities are taking place on the banks of the Hoài River within Hoi An's 13th Vietnam-Japan Cultural Festival. The event has become a unique tourism attraction, drawing visitors to the old town for years. It's also a way to preserve and promote the values of the ancient urban heritage that bears the hallmark of Japanese culture.
Will it be sunshine or showers tomorrow? There's only one way to find out in our upcoming weather forecast of selected cities around the world. That's it for this edition of VTV News. Now, please check out VTV4.vn or youtube.com/VTV4Go for more of our content. Goodbye for now, and thanks for stopping by.